Welcome back, folks. We're going to do a short video today. We're going to fix a problem I had pulling the camper and had the bikes on the back. And I have this bike rack that my dad gave me, and I've been using that. And we stopped at a farmer's market and went and walked around the camper, made sure everything was good. And somehow this piece bent like a banana. We had 3 bikes on this. So this is meant so you can fold it down, so you can open up the trunk on the car. On the back of the camper, that doesn't really matter. So I'm gonna just remove all this stuff, and then I got a piece of thick wall 250 tube seal here, and then I actually got these from another project so we can measure for holes. So we got the holes in the side already. That's gonna fit nice in there. We can mark out for the holes. We're gonna weld this onto here, gusset it. Actually, kind of like these gussets. So we'll probably reuse these and then cut all this stuff off. And then we'll have a nice sturdy mount for the bikes on the camper. So let's get to measuring, see how long we gotta make this piece. And then we'll drill some holes, and we will take this off and get going on that. Even got a light, you can shadow it just like the DeWalt compound saw. Alright, got that cut. Always does such a nice job cutting, and it's cold, so you don't have to worry about slag or being too hot when you're done. Alright, so we got that done there. Let's grab some wrenches. We'll pop this bolt off and see what we're dealing with on the base. We'll probably cut that base too. Everything is a hammer. All right, well, we got that off. Save that for right now. Let's see what we want to reuse. If we want to reuse anything on it. We bolt garbage. So I think what we're gonna do is we'll cut this so that will sit in there, so it'll cap the end, and then it will also have a lot more welding area. So let's I think I got a little scrap that I cut off. We'll use that and mock it up. Something like that. Go to the top saw, get most of it cut, and then we'll take that angle cut off wheel. This should make a little bit shorter work of it. another reason why I like this saw here. You can actually slide it so I can change the position on the blade. So by sliding it forward, I got a lot more of that cut out here. So grab the angle grinder and get the rest of that cut off. Now it's hard to find a good pair of gloves, but these Matt's off-road recovery gloves, I really like how they feel. Soft leather. Got a pair in the truck, a pair in the shop. Make it a little easier to work with. Alright, let's see how that's going to work. That'll cover nicely. I got good welding area on all sides. So we'll get this welded up, throw a couple gussets on it, and then it should be good for holding bike. I like it. Let's see, one of the benefits of this cart I made here, I can just wheel the whole thing out. I don't have too much stuff around it. Before we get that welded on there, get these holes drilled. So we know, let's see, let's make a mark on this. How far out it's gonna go. So we know it's gonna sit there. So we'll make a mark. And then I kind of like these gussets. I already got a design cut out in there. I don't know if I want to spend the time to take those off. Could just deal with a single centerpiece. Probably more than enough that we need. So yeah, I'll just use that. We already got it cut. Weld that right to the center of that piece. Weld it down there. So we know that's going to sit like that. So we can't go in any more than that. We got our hole. What I think I'm going to wind up doing, we'll just leave it in here because then I could drill right through and the hole is going to be already lined up. And how thick this steel is, we're going to use mag drill. butter. So let's see what size hole we need. The 9/16 seems to be close. So we'll use the 9/16. And that should get us right where we need to be. Magnet's so strong it's actually pulling this up inside of there. So let's see. That looks centered with the hole. Start her up. If you want to keep it same place, no. Flip it. Everything up to that line. There we go. Went through that like butter. No point in struggling. Alright, now we got our hole right through. So that's going to be the part that goes back into the hitch. This part here, weld onto there. Perfect. Lines up through those holes. Alright, so good to go. We'll get a grinder, we'll grind that a little bit, get a little chamfer on that. And we'll get this welded. Love these green flap discs, called Sigma Green. I'll put a link in the description on to where to get these. They're just fantastic for cutting, grinding. They last a long time. They seem to hold up pretty good instead of going through flat discs or cut-off wheels. Cut-off wheels are good because they're a thin curve, but you can really take off some material with this if you need to. Do a little material prep here. Alright, we got that prepped. Now we'll get ready to weld. Alright, pull out the miller here. lamp on the table. Alright, make sure our holes are going the right way. Whenever you're putting tacks on, you want to put them at like the end of the row. You don't want to put them in the middle. That way, when you go to do your finished welding, you don't have a lot of lumps in your weld. If you go and put a tack like right in the middle. Alright, so we got that all welded. Now we'll get this gusset in place. And we should be able to have people sit on their bikes on this bike rack before it bends at this point. Gonna nip away that corner where the weld is. Tacked in. Eyeballing for straightness. Not really too concerned about it. Burn it in. Strong now. The pin goes through. Fix. Look at that. Perfect. All right, let's just clean this up, let it cool off. paint it up. Give you a little tour of this car. So I bought this from Northern Tool welding table. Got another one over there. This one I wanted casters on it. I wanted to make it a little bit nice. So I got a cover on it. I got some clamps underneath. So I have it so that way you can store all your fixtures under here. I don't have much in here right now. But I took apart, I found one of these US General boxes on Marketplace. Cut that apart. You know, I think I picked it up for 30, 40 bucks or something like that. Took all the frame off of it. Got that welded down there. Still gotta adjust the caster on there to keep it so you can leave that lid open so you can get to the top here. Then you have all your drawers. Handle on this side so you can pull it around. As you saw, I use this to rest my MIG gun on. Then over here, grinder storage. You can keep your grinders. I cut this out on the plasma table. Put extra discs on here, put the grinders here. I'm working on a bigger project and I'm going between grinders a lot. So I can put it here, you know, instead of finding a flat surface to stick it on. So you can just keep both your grinders on there, keep extra cutoff wheels on there, and it's pretty nice. The whole table, I could put the grounding strap on it, use it with whatever I put on there, and then I'll just ground right through the table. Got wheels on it so I can move it around. I can lock those casters. Those are the wheels off the US General box, so I pretty much used everything from the US General box and from that kit. I just took the shelf. It's normally here, welded it to the bottom, had to cut the lip off the front so that way the bottom drawers can come out. But you know, it does its job. You know, I'll probably fill this up more with tools as I need to. Right now, this is it works pretty well. So let's get a coat of paint on this. Now that it's kind of cooled down, and then this project is done. Got to get the shake in. Get the good shake. Like using this, it's a high solids paint by MRO Seymour paint. This stuff works pretty good. You get a pretty good result on a hard finish. I'm just gonna give it a quick wire brush, get off the loose paint. You know, this isn't high dollar paint job here. Clean off this edge a little bit before I paint it. Get you in for a little bit of a close up of that. Oh yeah, that looks nice there. Good. Quick tack coat. Let that set up for a minute. Fini. All right, we'll let that dry overnight. Throw it on the camper.